Shelley Adler. Let's start in Texas, where a man drove his truck into a shopping mall.
A pickup truck driver fleeing police careened through a JCPenney store in a busy Texas mall, injuring 5 people before exchanging gunfire with police and being killed. The Texas Department of Public Safety says it happened Saturday evening in Killeen. The injured range in age from 6 years old to 75 and ended up in the hospital. Police say the suspect was driving erratically on the interstate. When police tried to pull him over, he got off and drove through the store. Police continued chasing him on foot, eventually catching up and killing him. I'm Julie Walker.
About 1 million taxpayers will automatically receive special payments of up to $1,400 from the IRS in the coming weeks. The money will be directly deposited into eligible people's bank accounts or sent in the mail by a paper check. Most people shouldn't get their hopes up, though, about receiving the cash. The IRS says it's distributing about $2.4 billion to taxpayers who failed to claim a recovery rebate credit on their 2021 tax returns after missing one of the COVID stimulus payments or receiving less than the full amount. The IRS says most taxpayers eligible for the federal stimulus payments receive them. President-elect Donald Trump took an Arizona victory lap Sunday morning, returning to a battleground state he won decisively last month on his way back to the White House.
We saw what happened last month, and we had turning points. Grassroots army, it's an army. They turned out to vote, and they voted in record numbers, and everybody else voted in record numbers too, I have to tell you. And we did something that was really epic.
This is AP News. 4 women and a 9-year-old boy were killed and 200 people were injured when a man drove into a Christmas market filled with holiday shoppers Friday in the German city of Magdeburg. Officials say the suspect, a 50-year-old Saudi doctor, published a huge number of posts on the internet and made insults and even threats, but was not known to be violent. Dr. Hans Jakob Schindler, who's the senior director of the Counterterrorism Project, says social media platforms need to help.
Whatever legal mandate you have, whatever, how many resources German or other security forces have in Europe, they will never be able to police the entire internet. We need those companies to help the security forces highlighting radicalization processes that they enable with their algorithms that lead to violence.
The violence shocked all of Germany, prompting several other German towns to cancel their weekend Christmas markets. I'm Shelley Adler, AP News.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tiro, Army, and greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning Marianas.
You survived the weekend and Monday is here. It is 7:54 here in the morning and not sunny at all, Saipan. It is a rainy, sloppy day, but that's kind of how I felt when I got out of bed anyway, so it's okay. Hey, it's 79 degrees outside right now, 89% humidity up at the Saipan International Airport, and we've got a high surf advisory today all the way till 4 p.m. Also have a rip current statement until December 23rd. So if you're going out there on the water, you got to be careful today. Expect some isolated showers, mostly sunny skies, high near 86. Winds out of the east 11 to 15 miles per hour, but gusts as high as 18. Might be windy enough to blow a kite, but it's kind of rainy. You don't want to really do that today, do you? Unless you want to be nicknamed Ben Franklin. Hey, tonight we're going to have some more of the same. It's going to get all the way down to 76 degrees. And tomorrow, carbon copy of today, my friend. If you like this kind of weather, I bet your plants do. This is the perfect day for you. Christmas, expect some snow on your TV. but you're not going to get it in real life. It might get colder up there on the top of Mount Topchow, but not enough to get snow-capped. We're looking at the same kind of weather we got today. Going to be highs near 86, winds out of the east, but gusts as high as 23 miles per hour because I guess Santa Claus needs a little extra wind to get that sleigh all the way over the place. Speaking of sleighing, we got some folks who are trying to sleigh their way all the way in the ring, in the cage, everywhere you go. They want to represent the CNMI, and we're lucky enough to have them in studio today. I know you just got to see me, but you really got to see these guys who are over here with me today. Oh, I got to get my face out of that screen. I mean, look at those happy faces that we got over here. We've got Ty Dorm. He's going to introduce all of our folks that are here today because we got some folks who are going to be able to represent the CNMI overseas and represent the whole of Micronesia in the WDC. Coach Ty, how's it going?
I'm good. How about you, sir?
All right. It's great to see you in studio today. And can you give us a little introduction to your whole team?
Okay, so I'm going to start to my left, and this is Dylan Pomdi, Justin Agulto, and Gretchen Pintor.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, there she is. We can hear her. Gretchen can talk. All right. Blink twice if you're here against your will. All right. All right. So, Coach, first of all, you guys got some really cool looking jackets here. Can you tell us about what you got or who you guys represent? Let's introduce yourselves to everybody here in the CNMI who's watching and who might not know you guys already.
Okay, we are MCA MMA, and that's Marianas Commonwealth Academy of Mixed Martial Arts. Kept the same letters. My gym in the States was Madison County Academy of Mixed Martial Arts, so same letters, and so we get to use everything. And so we, our jackets here, this is an earned patch for participation in our gym. This is my original, I don't know if we can see it here, the original patch for Kentucky, and this is our patch for the fight team, that's Team Primeval. And then on the very back, Justin will show you.
Oh, wow.
That's our MCA MMA, and as you can see, the lotus stone is right there in the center to represent CNMI.
Man, these are great.
Thank you.
And these are your fight shirts too?
Yes, sir.
Like the team?
So, yes, sir. And you all want to show them? And so this is also a replica of one of our older shirts, similar to it in the mainland. So turn around, sir. There we go.
Wow, those are great.
Thank you.
So when did you start the academy here and all that? I mean, like, how'd you get into? Well, there's a longer question, but when did you start the academy here?
Almost immediately after I got here, I was speaking in Washington, D.C. On issues of disabilities, where I met Donna Flores, who is our current director of special education. So she had asked me then if I could do some of these things in the CNMI. So I came originally on a 2-year loan and extended that, and then the government said make a decision, so I decided to stay. And so immediately, actually Donna in Washington told me that MMA was really popular. She talked to me about trench tech events, and I think it was guerrilla warfare, which some of her relatives were responsible for creating. So as soon as I got here, almost immediately, individuals, John Blanco and some others had talked to me about creating a program here, and so we opened at the beginning of 2012.
Wait, is that mine? No? Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, so that is a long time ago, guerrilla warfare. I remember being the ring announcer for that forever ago. Oh my gosh. Because I know those guys as well, and
right.
that was a whole lot of fun. But so you've been doing this, but how did you get started in all of this? It wasn't just something new for you. You've been doing this for a while.
Right. So my family in Thailand, so I learned Muay Thai as a youth, and continued training and working at it, and then had an opportunity to open my own gym and competed way back when. So I'm 60 years old, be 61
No way.
in February. So back before Muay Thai was even allowed in kickboxing, I was already competing. And so then when Muay Thai was allowed in kickboxing, we were considered the dirty fighters because Taekwondo and some others was sophisticated and didn't kick to the legs. And so when they felt the kick from a Muay Thai practitioner, they changed all the rules. And so, but that's how I got into it as a teenager and have continued since.
So I've seen some of the kickboxing matches over there that Cookie's put together, and I see the guys wearing the shin guards and all that. So like, one, do you have to wear it? Two, how much can you wear? Like, there's got to be a limit somewhere, right?
Well, for amateurs, they have A, B, and C. And C would be where you're wearing shin guards, you're wearing the heavier gloves. Then B would be, and also the headgear. Then B could be without the headgear. And then A would be where you are competing with smaller gloves and shin guards. For professional, then of course you have no protection. You may have the 12-ounce gloves, but now in 1FC they're wearing the 4-ounce gloves.
Wow. So you guys are still wearing at least some, is that basically your knuckles, right?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. So now you've got, we could talk about the fighting styles and all that and the training that you guys put in, but still there's a bigger announcement that you guys have. I mean, there's a lot of folks who are training all the time. And then we have our local matches they put together. People mix their styles and all that. But we're looking at getting something a little bit more like next level, like higher level kind of stuff.
Yes. Last winter, we were invited as an alternate to Thailand. And in case anybody on the American team didn't show up or was ill, then we had some of our guys that were alternates. So everyone showed up, and it's really hard to compete to get onto the national team simply because we're not there. And so what WBC had decided is that we would create a Team Micronesia. And so with Team Micronesia, you're looking at all of us right here. And so, we are competing. We've been invited to compete in the Pan American Games that are held in Monterrey, Mexico in February. And so we're trying to recruit support to help us to get there and represent Micronesia. The goal is this summer we hope to host a training event with WBC, hope to bring in some professional Muay Thai practitioners such as Super Bon and possibly Sanchez and Sanchai and some others. So we hope to spread this eventually to Palau, then to Pohnpei. After those prove to be successful, we hope to spread it throughout all of Micronesia.
So what would be the next step? I mean, because we're here in Saipan, right? So you like maybe you'd invite folks from Rota or Tinian or teach them how to train maybe or figure out how they could do that. But not just the CNMI. Is this Guam? Is this throughout all of our region?
This is throughout all of our region. And since I've been here working as a behavioral specialist, every time I visit Tinian and Rota, I do free training. And so
No kidding.
So that's something that's always been, and so that's something we hope to continue. Also, with the WBC coming in, I've talked to some of the other gyms, and some gyms want to maintain their autonomy, and that's wonderful. But Mahler's gym, Miguel, who was the Manila Mahler and former WBA world champion, he and Mr. Al and Rich have come on board that will help support this adventure for us with WBC.
Well, I mean, it's not like you guys would all have to be the same gym, though, right? I mean, like it's just falling under like making sure you like. I don't know what all those regulations would be to stay sanctioned in there. Like, what are some of the things they would have to do?
Well, you know, and for us in the mainland, my gym, whenever we hosted fights, we had to have $1 million bond. We had to make sure that ambulances and medical personnel was on standby, at least two. Everybody had to have MRIs and physicals, and so it's a lot different here. And I think all the people in Guam and Saipan do a wonderful job of creating events for people to be able to display their talents and things. But you know, we have to do it a little bit differently in the States, and so I'm used to following it that way. And we want to make sure that everything we do is regulated, and that we are able to make sure that all of our judges, all of our officials, all of our fighters, all of our coaches are all structured and properly tuned, so they can know what needs to take place. So the safety of everybody is made sure that it's applied.
Well, and that makes sense for them too, because if they're going to want to even hope to compete in any of these international events that you're talking about, they're going to have to go through that system, making sure that they get, is it points, is it scoring, or is it like stuff you accumulate to move up the rankings then, so that they can represent the CNMI?
Yes, and and one of my former students, he is fighting in the mainland now, and when he came back here, we actually teach what's called Asan Karat, and so it's older than the concept of Muay Thai. It's thousands of years old, and when he came back, he was teaching some of the global rules that have come about now, and so this would have more of the global aspect of it, and so rather than just throw like a straight knee, you would throw kind of a rounded knee. And so it's designed, the global is designed to keep the athlete in the fight, where traditional Muay Thai is designed to take the fighter out of the fight. And so again, more safety precautions. Do I like it? Not necessarily, because I'm old school. However, it is the wave of the future. We have the talent that can compete. I believe we have the talent that can win the world championship, and so we will adhere to their rules, and hopefully we can help to train other athletes. I mean, we have Frank the Crank, we had Swain, we had Conco, we had Kevin Fitial, a whole lot of people. I think Patrick Azuzu from Rhoda that have been on the international stage. We want to continue that movement.
That sounds amazing. Now, how about these guys that you brought today? They have stuff coming up here soon?
Yes, these guys all will be fighting in Mexico, and so let them say something themselves.
All right, Dylan, we'll start with you.
What's going on? Dylan Palm D. I don't know what else you want to know about me. I'm 2-0 in the Ring of Fire, 2 knockouts, bringing the heat. Let's go WBC. Bringing the fire, bringing the dragon. Let's go.
Hey, so when did you get started?
I got started when I was about, let's say 11 or 12 years old. I've been with Mr. Tai for about 9 years. So about to reach 10 years. So, I never knew this would happen. I never knew I'll be sitting across, everybody or, the whole CNMI. But we're out here to go and represent MMA, reaching the top, baby.
So, but now it's not just like you said you're 2-0 in our local events, right? But now you get to do something even cooler. Did you even think that this was where this would take you? You'd be able to go and do an international event like this?
Well, when I started, I never really thought that I would keep going with it. I just wanted to get fit. I wanted to fight, but I didn't think anything would happen here, as in getting professional. But I guess when I found Mr. Tai, it's like a second father to me. So I just kept pushing. He kept making me work harder. So here we are, doing my thing, doing our thing.
So how often are you training, and how long are your training sessions?
So every Monday to Friday, we got our training sessions we start at 5 p.m., then we end at wherever. So sometimes our fighters here, we put in a little extra more time, staying back with Mr. Tai. We're not just a gym, we're more like a family. So everyone, we get together, we get to the beach, After the beach, we're like, hey, you want to go and hit some bags? We're going down to the gym and stuff. Yeah, we do things together.
That's really great. It's like a real team. Like you said, though, it's like a family,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So when you do Monday through Friday, but what are you doing? Is it like an hour? Is it a couple hours? Or is it 30 minutes? I don't know.
So usually it's either 3 to 2 hours. Then for like the regular peeps, then if they want to stay back, you know, however they want to do it. Mr. Tai gave us keys, so he gave us more opportunities to train a little longer, work on ourselves, become better, you know.
Yeah, so there's a big degree of trust in there too when you're doing something like that.
Yes, sir.
So you get a lot of responsibility. So it's not only are you learning from like a master in this stuff, but you're also learning about all kinds of stuff. I mean, you're really growing up. You started when you were just a little kid, is what you were saying, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you're really grown into an adult with this as part of you. That's got to be pretty awesome. What's one of the benefits that this kind of training has given you so far?
Well, I mean, look at where we're at now. I never knew that we'll be here, so I guess this is one of the most best things that's about to happen. We're about to hit WBC, and I guess the benefits that I thought that would come is that I just became a better person myself, became more disciplined, and I don't know, it just made me, I just feel a lot more confident now, you know, less nervous about stuff. And yeah, that's about how I feel about it.
How about your family and friends, like outside of the gym? Like, what do they say to you about any of this?
I mean, they always believed in me. I mean, you're always gonna have haters. There's always gonna be people talking about you, but that's how you know you're moving up. That's how you know you're getting better. And I guess everyone didn't think that we'll be here or I would be here. Hey, we're here to prove the haters wrong, right? Let's do this thing.
Hey, so you had 2 matches already. So what can you tell us about those? Like, who was your last opponent?
All right, so my first opponent, I fought in, what's that, sir? C class is headgear, shin guards. So I fought in kickboxing. I fought with Keith Aldon. Took him out in the second round, head kick. But like Mr. Tai said, we go for the horse's legs, you know? Take it out. They can't stand. Do your thing, play your game. My second match ended around first round. Head kick knockout as well. So, I mean, I don't know. Hey, whatever we're doing at the gym works, right? Hey? Progress is shown.
That's great.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Justin, you're back there now. Yes. We're gonna have to get you guys closer to that mic too, because nobody's gonna be able to hear you. All right, so tell us a little bit about you, about like how'd you get started in this?
Okay, so actually before I met Mr. Tai, I actually trained Taekwondo for about 2 years. So I trained under Vicente Kumatsu at Kumatsu Taekwondo here in Bonneray. Mm-hmm. So that was my, I guess, the foundation of my martial arts journey. That's where I started. And then I think 3 years ago is when I met Mr. Tai through a friend of mine in high school. So I was looking, it all started from a project. I was basically doing a comparison between 2 different martial arts. And a friend recommended Mr. Tai to me, so I started taking classes just to do a comparison. And I guess that's where it started, Muay Thai for me. I loved the class so much that I came back and started, consistently training. In the beginning, it was a little rough. I was on and off. I was a high school student back then, so I was, starting that stage of discipline. So it was more of me being lazy in the beginning. And then over time, I guess I disciplined myself enough to come consistently. So yeah, it's been 3 years with Mr. Tai, and the training there is really good. I got my family involved, so I'm not the only one training out of my family. I got my sister, my mom, my dad, my oldest brother, and then I have a young brother. He's around, his name is Tu. He's 5 years old. So I got my whole family training, and I thank Mr. Tai for that. He gave us opportunity for women to train and young kids to train as well. So appreciate Mr. Tai for that. And yeah, that's basically my journey right now. Here we are about to set out to Mexico in February, and it's been a long time coming. I think Mr. Tai has been working to this for a really long time, and yeah, he's been doing this for us.
So now you got your whole family involved, so it's like, no, it's my turn for the iPad. You guys have like a whole nother level of scrapping.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I tried to get my little brother in here as much as possible because, it's good to start them at a young age. And the thing with Mr. Tai is he opens his door to everyone. So, like DJ was saying, we really are one big family when we come in together. and I think that's the biggest thing for me about the gym. We are a family. We're here together, and we're here to compete together.
So what are your goals getting out to Mexico? What are you hoping to achieve?
Well, we're going there to hopefully win the gold medal, come back home. You know, we're gonna represent the islands, and that's basically the main goal. We're gonna set out to win. We're gonna put our mind to it, and you know, we'll bring ourselves down there, win or lose. But you know, win or lose, we still represented the CNMI. But the end goal is to get that gold medal.
Now, Gretchen, we're gonna see if we get a few words out of you too. Okay, so tell us a little bit about like how you got into this.
So first of all, I met Uncle Tai at Philippines. What I was doing at Philippines was like karate do Shotokan. So I do karate before, and when I met Uncle Tai and came here to Saipan, he introduced me Muay Thai. So as for now, it's a year of me training in Muay Thai.
And so, what got you into martial arts? What made you want to get started?
First off, my mom pushed me doing martial arts, and then as time passes, I like to do it, and it's like being my passion now.
So you're training with these guys every day also, 5 days a week?
Yes.
Wow.
I do.
What got you, well, what keeps you doing it? Like, what do you like the most about it?
Maybe doing different kind of kicks.
Yeah?
Yes.
She's a good kicker.
And so you were talking about the difference between like coach about like how the kicking style has changed. Is it more direct or it's more round or all that? Just to go on that kicking thing that Gretchen was talking about. So is it like a front on kind of style or is it bring it around?
Well, for traditional Muay Thai, I think one of the things that Fight Camp Muay Thai and the art, and so we teach the art, which has certain levels and things like that. So when we fight, we want to be within 2 feet of our opponent.
Wow.
So that eliminates a lot of Shaolin, Taekwondo, Shotokan, and other things. And so I think when Justin first sparred me, I think that was one of the things also that got him kind of interested is that he wasn't used to someone being right there in his face. And so a lot of the speed that they generate to kick, we try to eliminate that by being in close. And so we, with me having also an advanced degree in exercise physiology, sports medicine, we work on every little technique of movement. Move your toe this way, move your hip this way, and so it generates the proper amount of power and things like that. So same with DJ, he came in doing all sorts of flying kicks and things like that, and so he was surprised that an old man was able to stop all of those things. So with the new global, again, it still has elbows, but you can't clinch the way you used to clinch. You can't throw someone the way you could or can in traditional Muay Thai bouts. And so it's designed to keep more of the Western fighter involved. And so generally I used to complain that it was more boxing with kicking, and but that is the wave of the world right now, and we're actually seeing in Thailand that they're trying to go back to the original because ONE FC has really come in and dominated, and these guys have been to Thailand twice, and so. I think that they have that opportunity. They had been invited to fight in Max Muay Thai in Thailand through Fairtex Gym. So I think that says a whole lot about them. They got to last trip. They were there with Stamp Fairtex, Junior Fairtex, and so they've proven themselves beyond me. And even when we walked into Fairtex the first time, the second in command, he pointed across the room to me. He's like, "Hey, I know you." And he's like, "It's been 10 years." I said, "Yes, sir, it's been 10 years." So I think I've made my mark as someone who's been there at Fairtex. And you know, I don't try to go around screaming our name. I don't go around, you know, pumping our chest. I try to be humble about life, and except when I'm coaching. So and so when I'm coaching, a totally different beast. But you know, we have a great group of students, and Gretchen has brought in friends. DJ has brought in friends. Justin's brought in family and friends. His brother competed also and went to Thailand with us. So, so you know, we have really built a strong foundation, and I'm hoping, you know, soon to turn over the keys to them and be a student that attends their gym. So, you know, that's something we kind of do in Thailand, is pass the torch on to someone else. We don't, at least from Isan Karat, we don't try to harbor all the expertise to one person. We try to make sure it continues and it spreads. So hopefully this is the future of MCA, MMA, and my daughter, she's 8, she participates with them. And so we have a solid group of individuals.
You know, you're not kidding about the being a different beast as you're coaching, because I've seen this. I've met you before, like such a nice, soft-spoken guy, but it just seems like so friendly and generous with your time and everything. Then I see him, like over there in the corner. The facial expressions, intense. That's enough right there. No, but it's great. It shows how much you care about your team. Like the fight fam, right? I mean,
Yes.
it shows how much you care, and that it's not just a passive anything. You're all in on all that.
Well, even when I coached the women's senior basketball team in the Micronesian games, our first true game, they saw me and some of the girls start crying, and
Oh no!
it's like, why are you crying? And it's like, we've never heard you scream like that. And so, but I was like, you know, I have to relay a message to you as fast as possible. You don't want to be in the middle of the beach road and getting ready to get hit by a car. And I was like, hey, move out of the way. You know, so I need to scream as loud as I can to make sure you understand clearly what needs to take place. And so, and that's what we do. And again, our motto is everyone enters our door, leaves a better citizen of the world, and that's what we strive for. And we have an excellent core of individuals that have entered our door and has gone back out into the world.
Well, you could show them some old Bobby Knight tapes, and they'll see him throwing the chairs and all that stuff. Say, I'm not that level. I'm not that level. All right. So when is this Mexico trip taking place?
They have asked us to be there by the 12th of February.
Wow.
And so, then we will start preliminary fighting, I believe, on the 14th and 15th and 16th. 16th will be the championship. And my niece, also Corey Story, she has won the U.S. championship.
Wow.
And she'll be fighting in the Pan American Games as well. So we have an opportunity. She was here several years ago training with us. So we have an opportunity after being victorious there, we'll go on to Thailand for the World Championship. So
Wow. And when's that going to be?
it's going to be held in June.
Wow, so it gives you some time to recover and train for your next opponent. How far out do you get to find out who your opponent's going to be?
With WBC, again, 1FC, WBC, they really start to change a lot of things. You can't say I'm this weight class and then show up and be dehydrated. And so generally with 1FC, you're going to be weighed in at least 48 hours before, and not only that, you have to take a hydration test, and if you fail the hydration test, you failed your weight, because we don't want people to come into a fight and be dehydrated and they can suffer a heart attack or anything like that. So WBC, has followed along with that. And so for the amateur events, you actually weigh in as soon as you show up. And so if you're not at weight, then either there's an opportunity to fight at a higher weight of whatever you are, or you lose your opportunities. So these guys have to maintain weight before we even get there. So I get to eat all their food on the plane. They get to drink water, but it's a safer way of making sure that athletes are taken care of. So we don't want any bodily injuries from overheating or anything like that.
Well, I've seen that a lot where the guys show up for the weigh-ins and they look, they're fit, but like they just barely made weight. And then when it comes time for the fight, they're all like swole. They look, huge because they got hydrated again. And I was wondering like how that affects negatively that fighter when they're going to do that stuff. It can't be a good thing.
Well, a lot of fighters become really sluggish when they try to hydrate again, and also some fighters they cram down the food immediately because they've starved themselves, and so all of those things are dangerous. And we don't look at that as an immediate effect, but if you look at it as a chronological effect, then it starts to affect different bodily organs. You see a lot of pro athletes and things that have gone through this massive weight loss and things like that. They end up losing their lives early because of the damage internally. And so, again, they look great on the outside, but in the future, it actually has caused organ damage. And so we don't want anything like that to happen.
So what weight are you guys going to be fighting at?
So I signed up for 120 to 125, so I'll be taking gold from that place. Let's go.
I believe I'm fighting around 135 to 140.
For me, I believe I put my own as 121 to 130.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's 5 pound increments. So
that's a tough thing to do. I would definitely have to diet down because I don't want to be fighting a guy my size right now. That's because especially if that guy's in good shape, that's going to be like a definite handicap for me going in. So now you talked about like trying to get it to the point where you could turn the keys over to the other guys, let that gym continue to grow and all that. You're not looking at doing that next year. Like this is going to be something that's going to live on for a while with you there.
I will still be there, but I'm looking within the next year and a half, 2 years, to want to. I'll still be here. We have signed a federal contract turning our PMB into a United States Postal contract, so a contract postal unit. So that contract runs through 2099. So my daughter will inherit that. So we'll be here, but they're younger guys. They can do a lot more. I don't want to one day just break down and they have to sweep me up and put me in a wheelchair. So I want to make sure that while I'm strong enough to be able to advise, that we can hand it over and let it grow the right way.
Man, I can't believe you're 60. You look great.
Well, thank you.
There's guys who are in their 40s would be like stoked to be in the shape that you're in.
Thank you. So
that's great. All right, guys. Anybody you want to say hey to?
I got something to say.
All right.
Give a shout out to Tasi and Aliis. Give a shout out to my parents, my mom and dad, my siblings, Tongbay Pomdi, Teddy Bro Besong, and his little child, Tiana. We're doing this for you, baby. And I take this thing home. Let's do this.
For me, I just want to shout out my family. Thank you for supporting me in this journey so far. It's been a long time coming, so it's a passion of mine, and thank you guys for being there for me.
Just shout out to my family, excuse me. Shout out to my family in Philippines and my family here also that's been supporting me doing this Muay Thai, and it became also my passion. So I'm very thankful also to Uncle Ty as being part of my family.
Yes, sir.
It's great. How about you, Ty?
To my wife and daughter, You know, I think the most important thing in life is having a spouse that is supportive. And so, you know, she's also a student, and we call her the Dragon Lady. But we're able to laugh and joke every day, and I think since she's been in my life, I've laughed more than I ever have in my entire life. I've always been kind of a stoic person, and my daughter, when she was born, she changed the entire outlook of the world for me. And so, you know, Donna Flores for introducing me to CNMI, and all the wonderful families. Even when I've gone to Palau, I've gone to other places, Chuk and things, people have known me there before I even gotten there, and they've all treated me like family. So I've been truly blessed to be here in the CNMI and Micronesia, and so hopefully we next year will be able to have other fighters. So we are the gym that is contracted with WBC, so everybody that is selected for the team will come through us. So that's wonderful. And again, as I said, I'd like to shout out to Trench Tech and also Guam Muay Thai for being very supportive and you know, helping so many different people throughout CNMI and Micronesia to be able to further their athletic ventures and their careers. So I've been blessed, and you know, thank you for always being, you know, polite friend, scuba diving with you all, and other things, and you know, your service to our country. So thank you, sir.
Thanks. And I'm glad that I don't have to hear yelling at me as one of the. But I'll tell you what, though, if I had to have someone in my corner, it would be great if you were there. So that would be awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, you hit the nail on the head about having a supportive wife. I couldn't do it without my wife either. Speaking of strong women, I've got Gloria Hunter in the comments saying, wishing Ty and his group good luck and safe trip to Mexico. My grandniece is representing Hawaii and USA there in Mexico.
Yes, that's Corey. That's Corey,
awesome.
her grandniece, and so.
Awesome. I want to say thanks to Cyril. Cyril, thanks for that comment over there. Originally from Buffalo, New York. Hey, so am I. That's awesome. Jerwin Tagabuel, he says, hey, Ty, happy holidays. Tobat Castro saying, this is a big thing for the CNMI. 1FC and WBC is big. Best of luck, guys and gals. A bunch of people saying, hey, good morning. Good morning from Pacific Northwest, and a whole bunch of folks weighing in to say hey to you guys and good luck. And that they think it's awesome what you guys are doing. So
thank you. So anybody, if they could want to come out and financially help make this reality for us, we greatly appreciate it. We've been able to maintain our tickets at $1,600. I think Justin's family looked and it was more than 3,000. So we, you know, whatever they can do. Again, we are representing CNMI and Micronesia, and so anybody that wants to come forward, please do, and support our young fighters. So if people want to contribute to this, how do they find you? How do they contact you to make some kind of a donation or contribution? Okay, we are located behind Naked Fish in Garapan, the Queen's apartment on the bottom floor. They could stop by. We are going to set up a GoFundMe, and so they can be able to see on my Facebook page and their Facebook page the GoFundMe. And so I know Mr. Jesse Pangdelinen, a professor at the college, has already made donations for the team. And so you know, we have a lot of followers, and you know, and your bringing us on today has really been an inspiration, and hopefully people will get to know us more. So so thank you, but that's how we're starting, and anybody, if they want to come by, I think we're going to set up an account at the Bank of Guam so they can directly deposit some things there for the team. That's great. So as soon as you get that set up, send it to us so we can post it and let people know about it, kind of spread it around a little bit.
let people really get that link for your GoFundMe when it happens. But trying to send you guys over to Mexico to go represent the CNMI, it's not going to be cheap. The airfare itself is crazy, plus your expenses when you get there and all that, not to mention all the training, the nutrition, everything that you've got building up to this. And this is only a couple of months away.
Yes.
Right? So it's really important to get this stuff done now. And I hope this helps coming in just a little bit to help get the word out about what you guys are doing. So
Definitely.
do you guys have any social media channels for your gym or for the club or anything?
No, everyone has been telling me that I need to do things like that. And, and I guess just my personality, I'm just not that guy who runs screaming and hollering in the streets. In the ring, on the sideline, different, but I'm learning to be able to promote our gym more. And so.
Well, you got a bunch of young guys and gals with you, and you got a bunch of family. Maybe somebody wants to be the first one to set up that page and get it going for you guys, so we can really help promote you. So I can send people somewhere.
Yes.
Yes. That's the main thing. Like even I didn't even see a sign at the place. So I had heard. So it was Barry Wixman told me that you guys were down there. He's like, you should go check out those guys in Garapan. They're doing a lot of good stuff. Ty Dorham, that doctor, he's really fantastic. And so I'm like, all right. So when I just happened to be walking by the other night, I found you guys. I'm like, oh, this has got to be it, and like snuck my face in there a little bit. So, but just something so that we can get people to know where you're at, so they can kind of make that kind of a contribution to you and find you. So
you sound just like it.
That was a good
Yes. Well, he's really complimented us because he has several black belts in other disciplines, and he's told our guys, it's like, hey, I've been all over the world, and you all have PhD instructor of martial arts, and so he's complimented us, told us, that he's never seen an art blended as well as Asan Karat, and so I was taught by family members, and hopefully we'll keep it going.
Is there an age when it's just like you can't get into it, or is it something that anybody can get into?
Anybody can get into. In Thailand, generally, kids compete at 4 years old to get into gyms.
Wow.
And so most Thai fighters, by the time they reach 30, they've already had 200 plus fights. And so in America and Europe, we're just getting started. And so, and that's the reason why you don't see as many champion Thai fighters, because they've already been washed up by about time they reach 30. And so, in any time we're disciplined, we laugh and we joke as we discipline, but when you come in the gym, you will know how to properly act and treat one another. And so, that's one of the things, but we all laugh and love together.
Well, that's great. All right, guys. Well, I want to say thanks so much for being in today.
Yes,
and it was great seeing you guys at the gym, over the weekend, and now seeing you guys in person. I'm really excited for you. I mean, it's such a great opportunity for you guys, and such a great thing for the CNY to have some fine representatives like yourselves being out there, being our representatives. So I want to wish you guys the best of luck. It's going to be great, and hopefully we'll talk to you before then. And one of the cool things about this show is you go there, if you guys have Wi-Fi access, you guys want to do like a video call and tell us how your fight went, or that you're getting ready, we could do that during the show. Or even if it doesn't work out hours wise, I could still record it and play it during the show.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, good luck. It's so great to have you guys here. All right, well, hey, I'll tell you what, this was an absolute treat having these guys in here today. And I couldn't have been happier, and I'm looking forward to having these guys come back show off their gold medals and everything. That's going to be a big plus. Can't wait for that. In the meantime, though, we're going to take a real quick break. I'm going to throw some commercials your way so you can give some love to our sponsors. And then I've got the AP Sports Update, and then we'll get to all the rest of the stuff. We haven't even tackled all the issues that we got going on here today. So get you guys We'll just put a little longer commercial to start, and then we'll get you guys going. All right, so stick around. We will be right back. And if you want to help contribute to this, to these guys and their efforts to get to Mexico, you can at least message us here at the channel, at the NMI News Service, and until they get all their stuff together, and then we'll put you in contact with them. So thanks so much to you guys for being here, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys here in just a little bit.
It's a great day to be up 3-0. I'll tell you that. It probably is not great to be down.
I'm Brad Rosala, and I'm the owner for Commonwealth Communications.
And I am Jojo Alipuzu. I am the owner of Island Image and Motion.
And this is our joint venture, Sideline Studios. This whole concept that we have of doing all these live stream productions and covering news and doing live shows and everything, it wouldn't happen if we didn't have a great partner like IT&E, someone who can handle the bandwidth and provide it and then get us what we need when we need it, and then be a real partner for us for all the events, whether we're doing live sporting events, broadcasts. All of these things happen because of our partnership with IT&E.
With IT&E providing us with the fiber and point-to-point and even the MBRs, is just a great piece of equipment to use when we're broadcasting our sports, our events, our performances, especially our cultural performances. And it's just great to share our culture here in the Marianas with the world. And IT&E has been there from the get-go.
The thing I like best about working with IT&E is how willing they are to come out and find a solution. Even for Liberation Day, we thought we had a pretty good solution for our live stream setup, and it turns out that we did not have the right setup that we thought we needed. That day, just before the parade, reached out to Paul and said, here's our situation. What do you think? He's like, we're gonna figure this out. While he's sitting there barbecuing, getting ready for the parade to start, he starts burning up the phone lines, calling everybody in IT&E, what can we do, what's the right solution? They left their families to do this stuff and get us the equipment that we needed to broadcast live. That's over and above. That's on a holiday. That's when he was out there spending time with his family.
That's why IT&E is just the best, just really in touch with the people and the community.
I recommend IT&E to everybody. Tell them the options are there, and you can choose whoever you want and then figure out what you think is the best. But when you're ready, when you're tired of having your calls disconnected or not having service, then you reach out to the guys from IT&E. Tis the season for savings at AK Toyota. This season finale is here, and you can get up to $5,000 cash back on the all-new Toyota Tacoma, or get up to $2,000 cash back on your all-new Toyota Corolla. And you can use that cash any way you want. But you've got to act fast because these deals end on December 31st. Get pre-approved at aksaipan.com. Some conditions apply. Come to our new dealership on Middle Road in Puerto Rico for more details. AK Toyota, here for Saipan, here for life.
Where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence to build. Be the inspiration, they witness the proof. We do what we do by the rules in the book. Be a lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence to build. Be the inspiration, they witness the proof. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
I used to think everything was as easy as 1, 2, 3, but now it's as easy as 4, 5, 6. That's because Paradise Dental has the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage starting at just $4 per paycheck. You heard that right. just $4 per paycheck for singles, $5 per paycheck for couples, and just $6 per paycheck for family coverage. That'll include Tito, Jermaine, Janet, and LaToya too. Jamone! At Paradise Dental, I love the way they make me feel. So come on down to Paradise Dental today and start smiling back at the man in the mirror. Or give them a call at 670-235-4040. That's 235-4040. Nobody can beat it.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. It is 8:45 in the morning. We just had a great group of folks in here. That's right. It was awesome. Oh, what's this? Now I'm Team Primeval. They gave me a shirt. This thing is awesome. Let's show this thing off. It's got all kinds of cool stuff on the sleeves. It's got all kinds of cool stuff on the back, too. This is, what a great, I can't believe it. Thank you guys so much. I'm really glad to have you guys on the show, but then they give me a cool team shirt now, too. All right, I guess that means I'm going to start fighting. All right, who's my first opponent? I think my first opponent is obesity. We're going to have to take that down. That's it. Anyway, good morning, everybody. It is a great day here in Saipan. It is a little rainy out there. And keep that in mind when you're out there on the roads, especially if you're going to be out at night. You know, you heard the DPS commissioner talk about Christmas being like the longest holiday because there's so many different things going on. And I totally get that. Hold on, I gotta see what this says. That's awesome. That is hilarious. Hey, but I mean, that's really it. Making sure that you drive safe right now. We got the latest update from the Department of Public Safety. They released a new press release about the checkpoints. So we're going to get that to you here too. We already posted this on our main page, but we want to make sure that, for the audience that's watching this morning, that you guys are there. Oh, there we go. Let's pop it up real quick. And this is for today. That's why we're putting it out. So you can see the ones that we got lined up for today. This is it. So the checkpoints for DPS today, 7:30 to 9:15. There's 2 rounds of it. This one's going to be on Middle Road in Chalanlalao to Gualarai, and that's going to be 7:30 to 9:15 p.m. There's going to be a second one on Monsignor Martinez in Aslito. Usually that's over there by the food stamp area, and that's going to be from 9 o'clock to 11:30. Now, we're not telling you this just so you can not go in those areas, but we are giving you a heads up, and it also is a reminder like, hey, there's that text a ride or call a ride program, so you don't have to be out there on the road driving if you don't have to. I mean, literally, you just get picked up. It's fine. Then get your car the next day. They do it from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. You do not have to drive this holiday season. If you've had anything to drink, you don't have to drive home. Really, you're not used to it because it's not like that all year round, but it is now, and they want to make sure that this is a joyous holiday season for all of us. So don't find yourself either as the one who's driving or the victim of it. I mean, you can't do anything for the latter, but at least you can make sure that you're not going to be impacting anybody's holidays. Even if it was just you, how do you think your family's going to be without you? I mean, they're not going to be happy about it at all. Tomorrow, there's also a checkpoint. They're going to be both going at the same time, and they're going to be later because it's Christmas Eve. So the one's going to be on Middle Road, between Chalanlalao and Gualarai, and there's going to be another one on Beach Road, and set from Oleai to Chalankanoa, and Beach Road Elidzan to Garapan, and they're all going to be from 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. Sorry. So it's going to be, that's Christmas Eve, right? All the way up till midnight, which again will be Christmas Day starting at that time. Guys, do not drive. Communities don't get this. We get this. I'm telling you, this is a great thing for us. Take advantage of it. It's a free ride home. It is a free ride home. Just do it because, if you've never done it, hey, I can handle it. I know you sure. I know you can, right? Maybe. If you have to say you can handle it, maybe that means maybe you can't. And by the way, even if you can, try it anyway. They got this service to try and keep our community safe. The least we could do is at least try it out. And say, hey, do a selfie the whole time. Shoot a video. Talk about how great it is, It should be cool to do stuff like this. Should be cool to get that free ride home. 783-RIDE-287-RIDE. I'm telling you, it should be cool to do it that way, as opposed to you're not showing off how cool you are by, no, I can handle it. I'll do it. We already saw 2 terrible accidents a week ago, right? And they're both involved alcohol. Both of them. One couldn't be a hit and run because they totaled their car, wrapping it around a power pole after skidding through signs and hitting a guy. Then there's the one over in San Antonio, over by Pakpak Beach. Guy was drinking, hit a guy and killed him and left him because he was panicked. Guys, you don't want to be in that situation. And DPS has set this up so you can get a free ride. I can't tell you how fortunate we are to have that kind of an opportunity in our community. Use it. It's great. It's awesome. Anyway, good news is I had a great time with you guys so far this morning. I want to keep having good times with you guys in the mornings. We're not going to be able to do that if you're not around. So give it a try. Encourage your friends to do it. Just know that it exists. And you could even take it a step further and you could call for them when they're thinking about leaving. Call first. Say, Brad's going to leave, but before he's getting ready to leave, I'm going to call this cab to get him. Is he going to get mad when he gets here? No. I'm just telling you, it's a good idea. I won't beat that horse anymore, but I can't tell you enough how much we want you to still be here. And we don't want you hitting anybody either. No, I didn't drink that much. I'm good. Yeah. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy. Well, I'm telling you. You don't want that guy out there on the road either. All right. Anyway, just a couple days left before Christmas. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. You don't want to go to jail for Christmas. Well, that might not work out for this next guy. Federal court on Friday unsealed a criminal complaint against Edward Gene Warswick Richards, accusing him of threatening to assault and kidnap Judge Manglonia. Oh my gosh. I don't know what that's all about, but you can absolutely not threaten a federal judge. You cannot. Oh my God. Up to 3 years is one thing, but a $250,000 fine. And then if you're going to tell people that you were going to kidnap them too, that's another 5 years and $250,000. That is just brutal. Now, the thing is, Judge Manglonia can't be the one dealing with the case of someone who's threatening Judge Manglonia. So they've got Judge KT in there. That's Judge Teresa Kim Tenorio. So she's going to have to deal with all of that, but they're not going to deal with it until tomorrow. The 26th. However, today, this morning, they're going to be dealing with in local court, they're going to be dealing with those 2 guys that were involved with that taxi driver. So we're going to get out of here and head over there. That's part of what we're doing today. We're going to find out they've got their preliminary hearing. And then next week, they'll have their arraignment on the 30th. So that's a busy day for us today, for sure, after the show, going out and getting all that stuff. And we're going to find out more. Now, I can't wear this shirt into court. First of all, everyone's going to be asking me. They're not even going to be paying attention to the case. They're going to say, hey, where'd you get that cool shirt? I'm going to tell you, you need to talk to Ty Dorham. Go check those guys out at their gym in Garapan. I'm just going to have to put my collared shirt back on. But anyway, that's where we'll be because we want to find out what is going to go down with their preliminary hearing. They've got the public defender as one of them, and we'll find out who the court-appointed defense attorney is going to be for them. Aloha, hafade, tiro, lesson mwai. Gus, great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. All right, well, that's going to be the big thing where we're going to go to court. Here's another thing. I had messaged her when I saw this last week, just before the weekend, that Tina Sablan resigned as the senior policy advisor for the Gov. I'm like, holy smokes, what is going on? Now, her last day is going to be this week, but there's no ill will. She's still in great communications with them. She's just going to do something else. She's looking on to move on and do some great things, and I wish her the best. But unfortunately, it's not going to be here in the CNMI, and we're going to see another one of our talented folks in the CNMI leave. The brain drain, the leadership vacuum. Mike, great question. Whatever happened to the teens? I don't know yet. I haven't received anything that they have been tried as adults. Rest assured that juvenile process is going on, but I don't know. But when we go to court today, I'll ask. So Heather Barcinas is the one who's handling it for the CNMI, and I'll ask her if the office has made a decision, because it's already been a week since their first hearing, right? Since they first brought him into court. So let's find out what's happening with those teens. And I'll tell you, we want to make sure that they get addressed, right? Now, we're not going to be able to dig into the stuff that happens. Like, we're not going to try to get their names or anything. We're not doing anything illegal, or unethical. But they have like a different adjudication process for juveniles, and it's not open to the general public. But based on the nature of these crimes, I think they should be tried as adults. I don't think this is one of those where you can say, they're just kids being kids. No, they didn't steal a candy bar. They didn't throw a rock through a window. It's serious. And you know how this media cycle goes, it's all of a sudden like what people are interested in today. Short attention spans. I'll tell you who doesn't have that short attention span, that taxi driver, his family. That's got to go. Our community should be telling our Attorney General's office that they need to be tried as adults. Because the only lesson they're going to learn out of this is that as long as you're not 18, you can get away with this kind of stuff. That's how I take it. That's 100% how I see that. It's awful if these guys don't get tried as adults. You might have a different opinion. I don't. And that's okay. It's healthy. It's healthy to have folks with different opinions, but I think they need to be tried as adults. They need to be held. That was so awful. It was horrific. Saipan is not going to be a safer place if those kids aren't tried as adults. Corazon, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you too. Yep. So we're going to be down there and we're going to let you know what's going on with that. Okay. So let's go on and check out some of our other things real quick. I'll tell you what. So there's this thing going on between the Senate and the governor. And I'll tell you what, the outgoing Senate president is doing everything she can to get every last little bit of influence before she leaves. They're going to be having a session late this week. That's crazy. I can't believe it. They're really just about done. But she is they are going to really try to drill this all the way through. She's on her way out, and she is really trying to go after this budget thing about the austerity measures and all that stuff. So I'm curious to see what the next, the next legislature, but the next Senate, how's that going to work? You've got the new Senate president coming in. They're not on the same team as the governor politically, and so it's going to be a different look. And are they going to be different? Are they going to be at odds with the House? Is it going to be like a couple of legislatures ago where everybody was in opposition to each other? It didn't seem like we got a whole lot of stuff done. I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. At least they're following up on it, but really, the job of this legislature is pretty much done. There's a week left in the year. I don't expect to see much more. I understand, though. I understand her sense of duty and wanting to get it done. I think if she didn't lose the election, there wouldn't be a whole lot happening before the end of the year. But I think because this is her last go at it, she's going to try to squeeze as much leadership out of that rock as she can. So good for her. Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh. All right, sorry. I'm just reading some of the messages you guys are sending. Thanks for all of that. All right. Oh, hey, just here's a little something to follow up on. I got a statement. Boom, boom, boom. Let me pull it up here. Here it is. Last week we told you about it, that MAX, Micronesian Air Cargo Services, they ended up getting the green light from CETA for the qualifying certificate for a 100% tax abatement, right, for their BGRT for 22 years. That's pretty significant. We got their statement yesterday. It says, we are thrilled and deeply grateful that CETA has recommended the approval of our qualifying certificate application for Micronesia Air Connection Services. This decision represents a transformative opportunity to enhance inter-island connectivity and support the CNMI's tourism renaissance. Our team is ready to work hand in hand with the government and tourism stakeholders to launch this vital air service that will provide more access to our beautiful islands and will create new opportunities for visitors and residents alike. We're committed to investing in the CNMI's future and playing our part in strengthening the tourism infrastructure that is so essential to our community's prosperity. There you go. And that is a statement from Micronesia Air Cargo Services, but also Micronesian Air Connection Services, which is what they're looking at doing by being inter-island travel. Now, all that, by the way, hinges on the governor's approval. We were asking them over the weekend if they anticipate everything going through the governor's office without a snag. And so they said they are optimistic about that. So we'll let you know about how that works. Hey, real quick, I'm just going to give you guys a little scheduling thing. I'm going to give you guys the sports update. And you know what? I'm going to give you guys about the NFL update, too. Something that we didn't do because we went right into having our guests in earlier, which was great, by the way. It was fantastic. But we're going to do the show tomorrow morning. We are not going to be doing the show Christmas Day. We won't be doing the show likely on the day after Christmas either. And it's a maybe for Friday. But the... it's a maybe for Friday. And I could tell you all about it, but I'm trying not to tell you all about it because there's other stuff happening that I want to. You'll know when I'm on if we'll be able to do it, and I'll tell you why because it'll be pretty neat. All right, hey, but before we get too crazy, you know what we need to do? We need to get a little crazy. So I got to get you the NFL updates for Week 16. That's right. There's only 3 weeks left in the season, and this is one of those 3 weeks. The Texans unable to beat the Chiefs 19-27 in Arrowhead. The Ravens double up on the Steelers in Baltimore, 34-17. Holy cow, I didn't see that coming. The Falcons beat the snot out of the Giants with Michael Penix, 34-7. All of a sudden, their offense has awakened. The Lions beating the Bears, doubling up on them in Chicago, 34-17. The Panthers beating the Cardinals, 36-30 in overtime. The Jets fall again. Is this the end of Aaron Rodgers? I kind of think so. The Rams, 19, Jets 9 in New Jersey. The Washington Commanders get their 10th win of the season. Who saw that coming? 36-33 with a win over the Eagles. And in a game where Jalen Hurts left with a concussion, the Bengals beat the Browns, their division rivals, 24-6. The Colts, they did it for the shoe, 38-30 over the Titans. The Vikings now leading the Seahawks. No, they're not. They're tied. But the Vikings have the ball, and they are driving 17-17 with 6:25 left in the third quarter. In Buffalo, it's not looking great. It was a trap game. They just came out of halftime. The Bills have the ball. They literally, like one play, they just did the kickoff. It's 1st and 10 on the New England 43. Buffalo trailing the Patriots in Buffalo 14-7. I gotta hope that that's not going to stay that way. All right, the Raiders are at halftime. They're leading the Jaguars 13-7. And the 49ers are trailing the Dolphins 13-10 in Miami. Tonight, the late game, or for us, the 11:20 game, the one you can watch on your lunch break. Buccaneers and Cowboys, and tomorrow's lunch break game, the Saints going to Green Bay to challenge the Packers. But for today, there's only 4 games happening that are still live. Vikings, Seahawks, Patriots, Bills, Jags, Raiders, and 49ers, Dolphins. That is what's going on in football land right now. What about the other games? Oh, well, over the weekend, the Broncos lost to the Chargers 34-27, and the Chiefs, again, we told you yesterday's game was the Chiefs and the Texans. Same with the Ravens and the Steelers. That was yesterday. This is the time of year where it's really exciting because we have Saturday NFL, which for us is actually watching football on a Sunday, and that, my friends, is awesome. All right, so we'll keep you updated as things change during the program, but that's pretty much it for that. All right, well, let's get you the sports update. Again, I would give you the hourly update from the Associated Press, but as you know, this is the weekend for them, so they only give us one on their Sundays. So the rest of the week, we've got updates from the Associated Press every hour on the hour. Here's the latest one that we've got for them for sports.
AP Sports, I'm Mike Reeves. The college football playoff quarterfinals are set after 3 first-round games on Saturday. We start with a matchup between Texas and Clemson in Austin. Here's correspondent Gethin Coolbaugh.
5th-seeded Texas is moving on in the college football playoff after beating 12th-seeded Clemson 38-24 in the first round. The Longhorns amassed 292 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns, including a team-high 146 yards and 2 scores for Jaden Blue, who credits his offensive line for the success.
We made a big emphasis, that we was going to have to run the ball in order, to win this game. So, like I said, I credit these guys. Those guys are the reason that those 2 touchdowns happened.
Denny Cap has the story from Penn State's battle with SMU at Beaver Stadium.
Mike Katron Allen runs in a pair of touchdowns as Penn State smothers SMU 38-10 to advance to the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. Allen ran for 70 yards and 2 scores to help the Nittany Lions advance to the Fiesta Bowl on New Year's Eve, where they'll take on 3rd seed Boise State. Penn State's defense made its mark early, helping the Nittany Lions get out to a 14-0 lead by returning a pair of interceptions for touchdowns and a 28-0 lead at the half, handing head coach James Franklin the 100th win of his career.
Maybe the best performance on the defensive side of the ball that I've seen in a half. We talk about 3 interceptions, 2 for touchdowns. That's why you recruit linebackers that played running back.
AP correspondent Dave Ferry tells us what happened between Ohio State and Tennessee in Columbus.
Ohio State has reached the CFP quarterfinals with an emphatic 42-17 pounding of Tennessee. It took the Buckeyes just over 2 minutes to take the lead for good as Will Howard hit Jeremiah Smith for a 37-yard touchdown touchdown. Howard was 24 of 29 for 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
Having the 2 or 3 weeks that we had to get ready for these guys, I think, gave us a little bit of an edge. And we were able to really break them down and figure out what we liked, what we didn't like, and figure out what we were doing well.
On to the NFL, where Craig Heist reports on an AFC North showdown between the Steelers and Ravens in Baltimore.
Lamar Jackson threw 3 touchdown passes, and Marlon Humphrey returned an interception, 37 yards for a score early in the fourth quarter, as the Ravens beat the Steelers 34-17 to earn a playoff spot and pull into a tie with Pittsburgh for first place in the AFC North. Derrick Henry rushed for 162 yards on 24 carries.
You got to bring it every time you play these guys, but we don't try to make it so much about like the rivalry. Try to focus on us and what we need to do. If we play the way we know how, then we give ourselves a chance.
Both teams are 10-5 and play Christmas Day. The Steelers will host the Chiefs while the Ravens visit Houston.
In Kansas City, the Chiefs met the Texans. Here's Ian Eklund with the story.
After an early exit in Week 14 with an ankle injury, Patrick Mahomes ran 15 yards for a touchdown on the Chiefs' first possession to set the tone en route to a 27-19 win over the Houston Texans. Mahomes added 260 yards through the air and connected with rookie Xavier Worthy on an 8-yard touchdown pass.
We were able to go out there and win, and now we move on to another great football team, and we want to try to fight to get that number 1 seed so we can be playing here at Arrowhead. But it's going to take our best football every single week.
Coming up, a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer passes away, along with the day in the NBA, NHL, and men's college hoops. Baseball Hall of Famer Rickey Henderson has passed away at the age of 65. Henderson is MLB's all-time stolen base leader with 1,406. He was a 10-time All-Star. The Guardians traded All-Star first baseman Josh Naylor to the Diamondbacks and signed free agent Carlos Santana to a 1-year, $12 million contract. The Yankees and first baseman Paul Goldschmidt have agreed to a 1-year, $12.5 million deal, according to a person familiar with the negotiations. NBA, Cleveland's now 25-4 after a 126-99 win over Philadelphia. The Celtics crushed the Bulls 123-98. Jason Tatum, 43 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists. The Knicks took down the Pelicans 104-93. Milwaukee was a 112-101 winner over Washington. Utah beat New Jersey 105-94. The Grizzlies won for the 20th time, defeating the Hawks 128-112. Orlando beat Miami 121-114, getting 32 points off the bench from Cole Anthony, impressing Magic head coach Jamal Mosley.
He was incredible tonight. And I want to say this for the team, for the group, for people that won't understand what this kid does. He hasn't been playing great basketball, and he'll tell you that. And he never stopped working.
Elsewhere, it was Lakers 103, Kings 99, San Antonio 114, Portland 94. Victor Wembanyama 30 points and 10 block shots for the Spurs. Mavericks 113, Clippers 97, Golden State 113, Minnesota 103, and Detroit won in Phoenix 133-125. NHL, there were 4 overtime games. The Predators beat the Kings, and Edmonton got past San Jose by 3-2 scores. The Flyers edged the Blue Jackets, and Ottawa defeated Vancouver by 5-4 margins. There were 2 shutouts as Jacob Markstrom and the Devils blanked the Penguins 3-0. Connor Hellebuck and the Jets were winners 5-0 over the Wild. Calgary beat Chicago 6-4. Boston took care of Buffalo 3-1. The Sabres have lost 13 straight. The Islanders were 6-3 winners in Toronto. Bo Horvat with a goal and 2 assists.
Everybody contributed in that, all the way from the goaltending to our defense. Sure, just won a big one for us there. So all the guys contributing, all the guys played well. Good team effort tonight against a good hockey team.
Montreal defeated Detroit 5-1, and the Golden Knights beat the Kraken 6-2. NCAA men's basketball, Ohio State upset number 4 Kentucky 85-65. Number 2 Auburn rolled past number 16 Purdue 87-69. Elsewhere in the top 10, number 5 Duke beat Georgia Tech 82-56. Number 7 Florida blasted North Florida 99-45. And number 10 Oregon was a 76-61 winner over Stanford. Mike Reeves, AP Sports.
All right, CNMI, hey, we're back. It is 9:14 in the morning. We're only going to be here for a little bit longer today. We're going to head down to the CNMI Superior Court And we'll talk more about that in just a second. Wow, how did that get so blurry so fast? I'm guessing it has something to do with the rain. Anyway, we're back. Want to say, hey, big deal this weekend. It's a best of 3. It is the women's softball championship this Saturday. Best of 3. The Baddies versus Mad Amigas. And that should be a great battle this weekend. Looking forward to seeing some great stuff. That'll be over there at Tangay Field, Miguel Tangay Bassa Field, which is right behind Tanco Palacios Field over here at the Oleai Sports Complex. That'll be a good one. Hey, I want to read something to you that was written by a friend of mine, used to be my boss, actually, with the Saipan Tribune. He has since moved on, and he's in the Philippines, but he's still writing remotely. And he was the editor for the Saipan Tribune, J.V. Valajera. I am sure I was a source of frustration for him when I was there. Sometimes. Other times, though, maybe not so much. But either way, we kind of formed a friendship and a mutual respect over the years, and I'm really fortunate to be friends with him. Well, anyway, he is no longer with the Tribune, like we mentioned, but he wrote this as an editorial piece for the Pacific Island Times, and I'd like to read it to you. It is his work, not mine, and but it's his editorial, and I value him as someone for counsel, and just as a friend. So let me read this to you. This is from JV, former editor for the Saipan Tribune. It's called "Another Small Death for Local Journalism." 7 years ago, one of the Saipan Tribune's contributors asked me if there was some sort of collusion between the Saipan Tribune and its competitor, the Marianas Variety. Did the two newspapers share information and have some sort of backdoor deal to explain their similar top stories and sometimes nearly identical headlines? Absolutely not, I replied. As I explained at the time to Young Style contributor Alex Magino, the Saipan Tribune and Marianas Variety have their own editorial teams. The Tribune had its own reporter covering the legislature. The Variety had its own reporter there as well. In fact, the Marianas Variety's editor and I, as editor of the Saipan Tribune at the time, were both so busy that we had only managed to meet twice in the last 20 years. We're actually in competition for news stories every day, I told Alex. The thing is, Saipan and the greater northern Mariana Islands is a very small region for news coverage, so it's inevitable that both newspapers will have the same stories, especially major events, and sometimes even have the same headline. That is only a coincidence. This has prompted some people to think wrongly that Saipan is too small to sustain two newspapers, that only one newspaper should be enough to sustain news coverage across the entire CNMI. I disagree. It's not as if either the Tribune or Variety has a large staff capable of covering all the areas of the islands and reporting on everything. Neither the Variety nor the Tribune has enough reporters and correspondents. Yes, both newspapers are in competition, but I welcome this competition because it benefits the reading public. Sometimes we have stories that the Variety does not have, and sometimes they have stories that we don't have. That is information that gets out and redounds to the benefit of the public, I told Alex. Now comes news that the Tribune's owner, Tan Holdings Corporation, has decided to shut down the newspaper on December 31st, 2024, citing economic reasons, including the paper's financial losses and the migration of most ad revenue to social media and the internet. I am no longer with the newspaper, so I am not privy to what led to this business decision, but as a journalist, I lament this loss. I described it to a friend. This is akin to another small death for community journalism, another instance of death by 1,000 cuts. When community newspapers across the nation are strangled to death by the insatiable vacuum that is online news consumption. Essentially, most people now get their news from social media and read the news on the internet. That has resulted in ad revenue, the main source of income for many news outfits, being hoovered up by online companies like Meta and Google, leaving many small news outfits struggling. A quick Google search shows that nearly 1,800 newspapers, mostly small weekly publications, closed between 2004 and 2018, with many local newspapers experiencing closures and reduced staff due to online news consumption. Excuse me. Others, like the Guam-based Pacific Daily News, transformed themselves into exclusively online news providers, while others have cut down the number of print copies, electing to focus mainly on online content. Unfortunately, closing the Saipan Tribune does not mean the shutdown of a company. That is merely the small picture. The bigger picture is more complex. On the surface, it's the loss of an outlet that's intended to provide the reading public and the larger CNMI community accurate and timely information. Fewer reporters means bigger stories falling through the cracks. But journalism is not just about event-driven coverage. It's not just about reporting when someone is killed. Journalism is also about exposing crime, wrongdoing, or instances of corruption. Fewer outlets reporting on these matters means that even more ways for malfeasance to happen. Evil happens in the dark, and journalism's role of shining a light on dark and opaque matters discourages immoral behavior. Major national news outlets are not keen in covering what is happening in our backyard. That is the role of local journalism. We call it hyper-local journalism, like when you report on a PTA scandal or an hours-long lockdown at a local high school because of a bomb threat. Readers of community newspapers depend on local newspapers to keep them updated on what's going on around them, events that big national newspapers typically ignore. Everyone in the CNMI knows this. When Typhoon Yutu devastated the CNMI in 2018, exactly how many national news outlets reported extensively on this disaster? 0. That's right. As one foreign reporter said, no one died, so they were not interested. And there were some deaths, but they happened after the typhoon. And who gave a blow-by-blow coverage and back-to-back news reports? The local journalists. That's who. Reporters from local TV, radio, and newspapers were on the ground just minutes after U2's winds blew off the islands. And because of that informal network created by the disaster, news coverage was focused, relentless, and covered a sector wider than what the reporters could have achieved on their own. That is the kind of journalism you won't get with national news outlets. With the Saipan Tribune folding, Marianas Variety carries the burden as the only source of printed news in the Northern Marianas. Yet still, there will inevitably be patching coverage when a reporter won't be able to go to an event because he or she is stuck in traffic or at another event. Another aspect of the Tribune's owner seems willing to cede is the power that comes with owning a newspaper. Often stated in a saying, never argue with someone who buys ink by the barrel. There is some quarrel over who coined that phrase, but it highlights the point that owning a newspaper, or any media for that matter, gives you a bigger ability to tell your side of the story if a conflict arises. That is why Elon Musk bought Twitter. That is why Rupert Murdoch isn't letting go of Fox News. In the matter of damage control, having your own newspaper gives you the chance to publicize your version of the story. Essentially, a plainer restatement of Winston Churchill saying, "History is written by the victors." You get to control the narrative. And what is a newspaper but the first draft of history? At this point, closing the Saipan Tribune is not just a setback for Tan Holdings Corporation. It is also a huge blow to its many competent and loyal employees. Oh, I have no doubt its people will land on their feet. They collectively transformed the paper from a company mouthpiece into a true newspaper with loyalties to history and the CNMI. But I sincerely hope the Saipan Tribune itself will not be relegated to becoming just another footnote in CNMI history. It deserves far more than becoming just another tragic story. That is from J.B. Valhera, former editor of the Tribune, my former boss, my forever friend. I love that statement at the end. And what is a newspaper but the first draft of history? Losing the Saipan Tribune is a lot bigger than I think. I know it's a conversation for folks, but I think it's a bigger story. And that's why we're here. Right? That's why we're here. That's why Tomas is here. He's starting his own with Marianas Press. The Variety's still here. I got to hang out with Amir on Friday night. We talked about it too. Talked about the struggles of journalism and his staff and how he doesn't even have a big staff. But it's important to keep it going. And then how is it going to change? How is it going to evolve? What's next? It is disappointing is not a big enough word. We should have more reporters here. And we talk about like almost every business that happens here. When there's only one of them, that industry kind of sucks, right? Competition's good. The media is good to keep folks on their toes, but having more than one keeps the media on their toes. So that everybody doesn't get in bed with everybody. So that competition is still there. So people still stay sharp. So it's not just the buddy news in every story. It's so you can tell the hard truths. And I hope that still happens. We've got some really good reporters here in Saipan. And I'm sorry that we're going to be losing half of them. Although I know like a couple of them are already getting picked up and going to different places and all that. Some are still figuring out what they're going to do. I mean, I can't believe there's only 8 days left of Saipan Tribune. And that's really 7. Because they don't write on the 31st. They write on the 30th for the 31st. We are losing we should absolutely have another news organization. And maybe that's what we become. Although I'm not going to be doing print. That doesn't fit with my little business model. But then the whole thing comes to like what he was talking about how do you pay for it? So that's why we need folks to sponsor shows like this so we can keep that thing going. I think that's the link for this. Because I don't see the value of putting your ad on a website when we put up our website. I mean, maybe. I'm not trying to talk you out of doing it, but like I just don't see the value in it. I see the value in doing it for stuff like this, where we got engaging folks and we're able to bring guests on, and that's how it becomes a community, right? Because we do all this stuff. I mean, that's it. Anyway, I'm going to end the show on that one today. So we're going to head over to the court. But I'm going to put the link to JV's piece here right here. I'm going to put JV's editorial link right there so you guys can go see it for yourself and get that click over there for the Pacific Island Times because they could probably use that too. Hey, good morning, Keith. Great to see you. Man, I'm looking forward to seeing your podcast, by the way. I'm really excited about that. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it. I'm looking forward to hearing what you got to say. And, dude, you can come on our show sometime, too. But you can't do it today because I'm about to end. I got to get down to the courthouse and go see what's happening at that the preliminary hearing for those two guys with the taxi driver. And I got to ask the prosecutor, hey, what's going on with the kids? You guys charging them as adults or what? I'll let you guys know. All right. We will be back here tomorrow. We won't be back here on Christmas Day. All right? So just know we're not going to be here on Christmas Day. We'll be here, but we won't be here. So I hope you don't mind that part. I hope that you are not looking at your phone on Christmas morning. I hope you're with your family. You're with your friends. Or at least if you can't be with them, you can call them. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, give me a call. I'll chat you up. All right, guys. Have a wonderful Christmas. We'll see you tomorrow. And we'll give you a little update on what happened in court today. Thankful for all you guys. Thankful for this cool new shirt for these guys, too. All right. Take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Kirawami greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning Mariana.